Shalom, family. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from YAHUAH, our Father, and Yahusha, our Mashah, Yah, his voice, our high priest, soon coming king. Hear, O Yesharal, YAHUAH, our mighty one, he is one. This is Brother David coming to you again to bring you YAHUAH, the master of time. This is part 1. What is this video about? The time of the Gentiles. Do you know who this is? Pope Gregory the 13th. He is the one who reformed the religious calendar of the Romans. Do you know who his father is? His father is Satan, the devil. Can I prove that? Yes. Who took the name of YAHUAH out of the book over 7,000 times? Here you are. You're looking at them. They were all responsible. And they replaced the Father's name with the Lord. What else did they do? They killed our Mashah, Yah. They beat him bloody. The Romans did this. Then they hung him on a tree. Who were the ones who came down with great slaughter in 70 AD? Vowed to kill every Hebrew that was left in the land. The Romans. His family members. What does the devil do? He comes but to kill, steal, and destroy. Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Let's begin. Luke, chapter 21, verse 24. From Julian to Constantine to Pope Gregory to you. What links these three together? They are Romans. Let's look at the prophecy from Yahusha, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword. Who's he talking about? The children of Yesharal. 70 AD, the Romans vowed to kill every Hebrew they encountered. And shall be led away captive into all nations. When did that happen? In the 1600s. They came and got us in ships. Who authorized it? One of the popes. And Yerushalayim shall be trodden down of the Gentiles. In case you don't know what Gentiles we're speaking about, the white man, until the times, see that's plural, of the Gentiles be fulfilled. From the Julian calendar to the Constantinian reform to the reform of Pope Gregory to you. Calendars throughout the ages. There's your link. For millennia, calendars were constructed according to the phases of the moon. We can only imagine what ancient astronomers thought as they scanned the night sky and saw the constantly changing appearance of this large celestial body. A millennia is 1,000 years. Do you know whose history we're speaking of? The Romans, the Europeans. 1,000 years before Julius Caesar came, the calendars were based on the moon. The Julian calendar, Wikipedia. The Julian calendar proposed by Julius Caesar in AUC 708, which is 46 BC, was a reform of the Roman calendar. What was the Roman calendar before this reform? It was a lunar calendar. Deduce with me. Could this calendar have cycled down from creation through the Romans? Well, after this reform, can you say that anymore? It went from lunar to solar. It took effect on the 1st of January, AUC 709, which is 45 BC, 1 year later, by edict, royal decree. Only a person who has absolute power can change time. It was designed with the aid of Greek mathematicians and astronomers such as Sosigenes of Alexandria. He introduced Julius Caesar to the sun calendar. If you wanted to know what this AUC meant, look on the bottom, ab urbe condita. It means in the year since the city's founding. What city? Rome. This is their history. Has nothing to do with the Hebrews. We see our first interruption in time from lunar to solar. The calendar became the predominant calendar in the Roman Empire. Now Rome had ruled the world. To the victor goes the spoils. The victor rewrites history in his own image. And look, he changes time. The calendar became the predominant calendar in the Roman Empire, and subsequently most of the Western world for more than 1,600 years until 1582, when Pope Gregory XIII promulgated a minor modification to reduce the average length of the year from 365.25 days to 365.2425 days. That's 0.007. And thus corrected the Julian calendar's drift against the solar year. Worldwide adoption of this revised calendar, which became known as the Gregorian calendar, took place over the subsequent centuries. First, in Catholic countries, and subsequently in Protestant countries of the Western Christian world. The Arabs, the Indians, no one else had this calendar but the Europeans. Do you understand? They created it, and they had the power to introduce it to the world. Why? To the victor goes the spoils. Calendars today. I did this on the 18th of November to compare the Gregorian calendar to the Julian calendar to see what day it would be on the Julian calendar. So on Pope Gregory's calendar, the 18th of November would be the 5th of November on the Julian calendar. Let's deduce. To arrive at a fact or a conclusion by reasoning. Reason with me, brothers. We're just going to go through actual facts. How many days difference is this? 13. The number one argument that you will have from anyone who believes in the Pope's calendar, they will tell you that this time has cycled from creation. There's been no interruption whatsoever. Is this an interruption? The original calendar was the Julian calendar. The Pope took it, made reforms. 13 days off. Can you deduce with me? Has there been an interruption here? Deduce. Don't come from your predisposition. Just look at the facts and reason. Britannica.com. The Roman Emperor Constantine I died 337 AD. He was a convert to Christianity. No, he wasn't. He was the author of Christianity. Only he had the power to make this religion the force of the world. Introduced the first civil legislation concerning Sunday in 321 AD, when he decreed that all work should cease on that day, except that farmers could work if necessary. That law, remember something, this is a law. Is this law by Yah? No, the Father has the law of the heavens. The white man controls the law of the times that he put on his calendar. The law that Constantine created aimed at providing time for worship. So the calendar in which you're looking at, Pope Gregory's calendar, is a religious calendar. A religious calendar for who, Brother David? The Romans. It's not for the Hebrews. The Romans were the conquerors and the ones who evicted us and are trotting down the promised land today. So their calendar was created for worship. It was followed later in the same century and subsequent centuries by further restrictions on Sunday activities. See also Sabbatarianism. Week. Finding day of week, given Julian day number, Wikipedia. The U.S., the United States, day of the week, it'll be considered week 1 for an afternoon or evening, UT, can be determined from the Julian day number, which is signified by J with the expression week 1 equals modification Julian plus 1, 7 days, 7 plus 0. So look at it. Week 1. Sunday is 0. Monday is the first day of the week. Tuesday is the second. Wednesday is the third. Thursday is the fourth. Friday is the fifth. And Saturday is the sixth day on the Julian calendar. Are you with me so far? Now come down to the bottom where it says the ISO day of the week. ISO is International Standard Organization Day of Week, which will be signified by week 0, can be determined from the Julian day number J with the expression WO equals modification J 7 plus 1. So week 0, let's start again. The day of the week would be Monday's the 1st, Tuesday's the 2nd, Wednesday's the 3rd, Thursday's the 4th, Friday's the 5th, Saturday is the 6th day of the week, and Sunday is the 7th day of the week. Let's deduce. Who changed the 6th day of the week to the 7th day of the week by taking the 7th day of the week and making it the first day of the week? Constantine the Great. Tell me something. If you changed the days, can there be a continuous cycle from creation, unbroken? Deduce with me. It's not hard. You must dismiss with your predispositions, believing that this is cycled down from creation. It does not. Let me show you more. Currently in use. The name of this calendar comes from Pope Gregory XIII, who reformed the Julian calendar in 1582. The Julian year was 365 days and 6 hours. By the 16th century, the total surplus time had displaced the vernal equinox, that is, the spring equinox, to 11 March, 11 from 21 of March, the date adopted in the 4th century. What does he mean by that? In the 4th century, they fixed the vernal equinox to the 21st. Did you know the equinox can come out the 18th, the 19th, the 20th? Rarely on the 21st. The date adopted in the 4th century. By who? The Romans, brothers and sisters. Pope Gregory XIII fixed the problem by removing 10 days in the year 1582 and proclaiming that thereafter an extra day would be added every 4 years. It's called a leap year. Can we deduce? Let's do it together. Our brothers and our sisters say that this time has cycled down all the way from creation on the white man's calendar. Let's see if that's true. He removed 10 days. Can there be a continuous cycle of weeks anymore? Please, remove your prior dispositions and come to the proper conclusion. After he removed the 10 days, look what he did next. And proclaiming that thereafter an extra day would be added every 4 years. It's a leap year. If you add an extra day every year, was there a continuous cycle of weeks from creation? Because if you add an extra day to your calendar, Saturday becomes Sunday. Please deduce with me. Come to the proper conclusion by reasoning. Reason in your mind. This is what this exercise is for. See, we can't put this on the comment board because it's too much information. So you have to put it in a video. That's why the comment board is a joke for us. Deduce, brothers and sisters. Is there a continuous cycle from creation? If you still say yes, you have eyes to see, ears to hear. You see not, you hear not, nor do you have any wisdom whatsoever. Because you cannot deduce simple facts like this. What happens to a person who can't deduce? Yeah, cognitive dissonance. They're experiencing trauma. They're hearing something they've never heard before. They never even went to look it up. But yet they followed this man. If you follow this man, he has become your mighty one. In 1582, the lag of the Julian calendar in relation to the sun was 10 days. Hence, the 4th of October, 1582, was followed by the 15th of October to correct the disparity. You need to make corrections if you're outside of time. Do you understand? You don't have to correct anything if you're inside of time. This is the whole reason that they add 13th months. They add days, leap years, hours, start from 12 midnight, start the year from January. I mean, it's out of control, brothers and sisters. Why do you want to be a part with something like that? Everything that Yah does is perfection. We dismiss with him and follow the white man. The reform was adopted almost immediately in most Roman Catholic countries. Do you see that? All the places where YAHUAH was taken in ships, they were ready for you to give you their time. But more gradually in Protestant countries, it wasn't adopted in England and her colonies in America until the 3rd of September, 1752. What calendar do you think they were using? The Julian calendar. While the year there until 1752 began on the 25th of March, the changeover to 1st of January as New Year's Day was also affected that year. Do you know that our people are still looking for a New Year's? Father never told you to look for a New Year's Day. The only thing that you have to look for is the first month. We found it. And we showed it to you. And it's without a shadow of a doubt. For those who are learned, those who have wisdom. But if you follow them, you'll be lost. To deny Yah and to accept them is heresy. Penalty, death. The book of Jasher, chapter 53, verses 17 to 19. Thank you, Brother Dash. Brother Dash has given us more evidence for what a powerful people we were. Verse 17. And Joseph said unto him, who is he speaking to? Benjamin, his brother. Yeah. I didn't put the whole story here. Just wanted to show you something. But do you remember when the brothers needed grain because there was a famine in the land and they came into Egypt and Joseph saw them, told him to go bring your brother Benjamin back? Okay, let's start from there. And Joseph said unto Benjamin, hast thou begotten any children? And he said, your servant has 10 sons. And these are their names: Bela, Becher, Ashbal, Gera, Naaman, Aki, Rush, Mupim, Chupim, Ord. And I called their names after my brother whom I have not seen. See how much we don't understand? All of these names must mean something. We just don't know. Verse 18. And he ordered them to bring before him his map of the stars. Who? Joseph. Whereby Joseph knew all the times. Stop. All the times. He knew the Sabbaths. He knew the feast days. He knew the new moons. He knew the festivals. He could map the sun, the moon, and the stars. Do you understand that? Note, there were no Europeans here. Do you understand me? They had not come in yet. The only way that they told time was by looking up in the sky. And Joseph said unto Benjamin, I have heard that the Hebrews are acquainted with all wisdom. Did you hear that? Is there any more wisdom in Yasharel today? If you're looking up in the sky, if you've learned how to count the days, if you're not adding 13th months, if you're not adding to or taking away from anything that Yah has made in his creation, if you're using that time to find your Sabbath and your feast days, you have wisdom. Listen what he's going to ask Benjamin. Do you know anything about this? 19. And Benjamin said, your servant is knowing also in all the wisdom which my father, Yasharel, the one whose name was Jacob, and was changed to Yasharel, taught me. So Joseph was taught by his father, Yasharel. So was Benjamin. What about the rest of the brothers? They probably wasn't interested. And Joseph said unto Benjamin, Look now at this instrument, and understand where thy brother Joseph is in Egypt, who you said went down to Egypt. Verse 20. And Benjamin beheld that instrument with the map of the stars of heaven, and he was wise. Is there any wisdom today? And looked therein to know where his brother was. And Benjamin divided the whole land of Egypt into 4 divisions. And he found that he who was sitting upon the throne before him was his brother Joseph. And Benjamin wondered greatly. And when Joseph saw that his brother Benjamin was so much astonished, aren't you astonished, brothers and sisters, that he was able to do this? He said unto Benjamin, What have you seen? And why are you astonished? Verse 21. And Benjamin said unto Joseph, I can see by this that Joseph my brother sitteth here with me upon the throne. How can you do that with an instrument and a map of the stars? The Hebrews were acquainted in all wisdom, brothers and sisters. They understood the heavens, which is lost to us today, but we are beginning to return to the old ways. And the Father is revealing to us more and more and more over time. And Joseph said unto him, I am Joseph your brother. Don't tell this thing unto your brethren, because I will send you with them when they go away, and I will command them to bring you back to me again into the city, and I will take thee away from them. Why would he take Benjamin away the next time? To draw his father, Yasharal, into Egypt. So you see, brothers and sisters, wisdom is attached to looking up in the sky. Those who start their months to find their Sabbaths from the renewed moon have wisdom. Those who start their Sabbaths from a fixed day on Pope Gregory's calendar are in a strong delusion. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And the Alayam said, Brother David, who the Alayam? I've never heard that before. I've read Genesis chapter 1 many times. I've never seen this. Well, the Alayam is covered up by the English translation. There's a name that they placed there. Who placed it there? The Romans, the English, the Gentiles. Capital G-O-D. God. If you go to the Blue Letter Bible and you click the Strong's box, you'll see a number come up. H430. When you go to H430, you'll find this Hebrew text. Look in the brackets. Aleph Lamed He Yad Mem. Allah Yam. They are the watchers, the messengers. We call them angels. Do you remember what Shaul forbade us to do? To worship angels? Well, ever since you've been in the lands of your captivity, that's all you've been doing. Worshipping the fallen ones. How did you do that? Praise God. Thank God. God bless you. God is good. And all the time, God is good. Do you know what you were doing? What we all were doing? We were blaspheming the name of our Mighty One all day long in the lands of our captivity by calling on God. Satan. Do you know what Satan's true name is from the heavens? His name is God Ra'el. He's the one who deceived Eve. He's the one who showed men the blows of death. You'll find him in the book of Hanut, in which they took out, so that you would not know who their Mighty One is. You followed them. You followed their time. You're following their Mighty One. Now that we've established who the Alayam are, these are not the fallen ones in Genesis. These are the ones who laid the foundations of the earth. They're the ones who created the sun, the moon, and the stars, on whose request, on whose edict? YAHUAH. He gave the command, and they carried it out. Let's proceed. And the Alayam said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night." Stop. Do you know what our brothers say? That the lights were created here on the fourth day in Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. I'm going to say this again. Is there any wisdom amongst the children of Yeshua? The lights were turned on in verse 3 and 4. Let there be light, and there was light. Turn on the lights, and the lights came on. So what is happening here? The Alayam are explaining to you what these lights were created for. Let's proceed. And let them be for signs. What is the sign of feast? If you said the moon, you're right. And for seasons. Where would you place your seasons? Sun or moon? If you said the sun, you're right. 4 seasons per year. The intercalary days are placed there by the Alayam. And for days. The moon has 354 days. The sun has 364 days. Out of those 2 celestial bodies, which one can you look up in the sky and count the days? If you said the moon, you are correct, because the sun stays the same, 364 days per year, and years. You have your lunar year, 354, and your solar year, 364. This is the only thing that YAHUAH, the master of the universe, He who is seated upon the throne, created for you to tell time. To deny this is to deny him. Leviticus chapter 23, verses 1 to 3. Before I begin, let me warn you. Be careful. To speak against this is to speak against the Most High himself. Let me show you why. Verse 1. And YAHUAH spake unto Moses, saying, we've identified the speaker. YAHUAH. We've identified the intermediary, the one who is to bring the message to a specific party. Who is that, Brother David? Verse 2. Speak unto the children of Yasharal. Here's the recipient of the message. And say unto them, concerning the feast of YAHUAH, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations, gatherings. Even is an old English word. It means indeed. Indeed, these are my feasts. Whose feasts are these? YAHUAH. So let's see what his first feast day is. It's coming from whose lips? YAHUAH's. Verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of YAHUAH in all your dwellings. So the first feast day that he mentions is your regular weekly Sabbath. Why is it the first one that he mentions? Because it's the biggest of all feasts. Every month, 4 times per month. Tell me something. What is the sign of feast? If you said the moon, you're right. How do you find your feast days? You look up in the sky for the moon. Let's just use Passover. We look up in the sky for the renewed moon. When does it come out? The renewed moon comes out in the evening as the sun dips below the horizon. That is why all of your feast days are from evening to evening. Are you with me so far? Because your moon comes out on the first day of the month in the evening. So the lunar day is from evening to evening, and the solar day, in which the Gentiles use for their calendar, is from sunrise to sunrise. Are you with me so far? Let me ask you a question. Since you don't believe that the Sabbath day is a feast day, and that it can only be found by the moon, if you believe in the fixed Saturday Sabbath on Pope Gregory's calendar, when do you start your Sabbath? Friday evening at sundown to Saturday evening at sundown. How many of you caught it? That count can only be established by starting your month from the moon. Pope Gregory's calendar is a solar calendar, sunrise to sunrise. But the moon, being Yah's way of counting the days, in which he shows you from the slither of light to the first quarter, to the full moon, to the third quarter, to the black moon, till it's renewed and the slither of light comes forth in the evening and your time starts all over again. How many of you understand what I just said? If you're on Pope Gregory's calendar, which is a sun calendar, why are you using a count that can only be established from the moon? What count is that? From evening to evening. Now you just received wisdom, something you may have never heard before. We have established that the weekly Sabbath is a feast day. We have established that it can only be found through the moon. We have established that the count that is used from evening to evening can only be found through the lunar event. Deduce with me, brothers and sisters. YAHUAH is revealing himself to you. Don't you turn him down again. Come back to him, to his Sabbaths and his feast days. Shalom.